Hello and welcome to Andre's YouTube vlog for September 11th, 2011. Yep, it's 9/11/11. I'm sure a lot of you know out there about what today is, and it's a topic that I touched on a little bit in my previous vlog, but I slept in a little bit today because I've been tired, so it's almost 1 here as I record this in the afternoon, and I'm sort of unshaven and unkempt, but it doesn't matter. When you have a thought on your mind, you kind of want to get it out there. For the past week, there's been a lot of talk about the 10th anniversary of the September 11th attacks on the World Trade Center. And first, I didn't want to think about it. I'm sure that a lot of victims of it and a lot of people who were involved or even there don't want to think about it either. There's a lot of people who don't want to think about terrible things that happen in history. I mean, Hurricane Katrina, the Holocaust, the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. These are things that people don't really want to think about, although they sometimes have to. But whether I knew it or not, I was just flooded with a huge amount of memories this morning and thoughts. Not all of them were entirely negative. Some of them were just kind of questions. And it's the questions that I'm thinking about today. I was watching a show on PBS called Rick Steves Europe, where he went to Iran. We watch this show every week in where I live, and he was trying to show that there are many areas of Iran that are a wonderful place, and that they have a rich culture, and there's some very nice people there, and some very pro-American people there. And that this, maybe a few bad apples make it bad for the rest. And I was just thinking of a couple things. First of all, I was thinking about what happened on 9/11, 2001. I seem to remember that at the time, I was very excited because two people I'm very big on, two musicians, Bob Dylan and Jamiroquai, were coming out with a new album that day. So I was going to go over and to this record store called Bull Moose in the New England area to pick them up. And, of course, when I woke up the next morning, it was a beautiful balmy day around here, 75 degrees. I was told the World Trade Center has been attacked. The plane was hijacked, and I woke up just enough to see the second plane go into the Trade Center, and my mom was there. And, being originally from that area, it was very shocking to her. She had GED equivalency test to take that day. That's another whole story. So my dad and I went over to Bull Moose, this record store, while she took the test. I got the Jamiroquai album. He got the Dylan album. I needed an escape. I needed some music that day bad, because while we were doing it, at the cash register, it was in the middle of the store, they had a little closed-circuit television, and everybody's eyes were glued onto the television like that. They were just transfixed and catatonic. I'd never seen anything like it. And when we came home, we went out for a walk, and we just walked from one side of the street from where we lived to the other, my father and I. And we came back, everybody was transfixed with their TVs, just like that, like perfect tunnel vision. I've never seen anything quite like it. So I don't think the drama of the trade centers and the people who die were as tragic to me as the fact that it seemed to hypnotize and transfix everyone around me as if it was something they had never seen. I suppose that, as controversial as this may sound, issues like this don't always hit home to you until they really do hit home. And that's what happened. Things like this have happened all over the world for many years. And this just, made a big difference. Maybe it was inevitable, maybe it wasn't. And lately I always get to thinking of my grandfather. He had died in May of 2001, a few months before. My grandmother, I don't even remember how she reacted to 9/11, but the one who just passed. But my grandfather was a United States Army corporal stationed in places like Texas and Iceland, I believe, during World War II. Enlisted after Pearl Harbor, like a lot of different people did. And he and my grandmother got married in 1944. And I've been thinking about what kind of reaction he may have had to the whole 9/11 situation. I really honestly don't know. But it also reminds me of another day that's happening today that will probably be almost totally overshadowed by 9/11 news. Today is National Grandparents' Day. And because my grandmother died a little less than a month ago, in a few days it'll be a month ago, I've got to thinking about her a lot too. And that's preoccupying my mind a lot more than I thought it would. And my grandfather. I honestly can't imagine them in the world after 9/11. It's so different from the way we lived. You know, people aren't as trusting, at least where I live. People aren't as, kind to each other. They seem to be afraid a lot. And they lived through a lot of that themselves in different times. And it's kind of sad to me that the fear that they lived through, the post-World War II, post-Great Depression fear, has come back around again in the form of the post-9/11 world. But after watching that Rick Steves, I've come to realize that, you can never tell a soul. The same culture, the same world, whether it be Saudi Arabia, Africa, Russia, America, any country you can name, there's going to be two types of people, good and not so good of spirit. And, you never know until something like 9/11 happens just who those are. And that's just my 2 cents for the day. This is Andre's September 11th vlog, signing out. Peace, everyone.